My name is Keith Harmon, and I'm the workforce instructor for LWIA Region 40. And today I'm going to walk you through the process of creating an account on the HiRE website, or also, if you prefer, the Louisiana Works website. It's a fairly straightforward process, but some folks seem to have some difficulty with it. So I want to make sure that we can get through it, and you can get your account set up and start using all the advantages that HiRE has to offer. So let's get to it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to www.louisianaworks.net. Okay, and when you do that, it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. Now, what you're going to do is I closed out that window because I'm creating this is basically our demo site to where we can create people that don't actually exist, and that's the way that I'm going to show you how to create your account. But when you go to louisianaworks.net, you saw it took you to a place that looks like this. So you're going to go to sign in, and that's going to take you to this page. Now what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down, and you're going to select under option 3, create a user account. You're going to select individual. So if you want to click on that, it will take you to this page. Now, you may be attempting to file an unemployment insurance claim, but that's not something that we can assist you with. So at this point, we're going to say no, and you can always go back and file your unemployment claim after you have created your account. So we're going to say no, and we're going to go to next. Sometimes HiRE can move a little slow, but you just kind of have to hang with it. All right, and so now we're going to create all of your login information. So for username, just pick something simple. Generally, I go with first name, last name. It's something very, very simple. So we're just going to say Johnny Workforce. Okay. Now, this is the first part where people usually start having trouble, and it's the creation of the password. All right. But if you look right here, it's going to tell you everything that you need to know. Okay. So it needs to be 8 to 20 characters. It needs 1 uppercase letter, 1 lowercase letter, 1 number, and 1 special character. Okay. And these are if you're wondering, well, Casey, what is a special character? These are the special characters. All right. So you don't have to make your password super complicated, but whatever you decide you want your password to be, please write it down, whether you have a little notebook or a notes app in your phone. That way you can always keep track of it. I know a lot of times we create a password and we go, oh, I'm always going to remember this. But a lot of times, if you're like me, you can have multiple passwords for different websites, and sometimes it can get confusing, and you think you have a password for HiRE, but you're actually it's a password that you have for your email. It's easy to get your passwords mixed up. Make your life a lot simpler and easier by writing your password down, okay? And again, it doesn't have to be anything very complicated as long as you follow the rules. Now, you won't see the password that I'm typing in here, but I will tell you what I'm going to type in, okay? So I'm going to type in a capital C, lowercase a-s-e-y, okay? So that's already, that I have a capital letter, so that's my 1 uppercase letter, okay? I have a-s-e-y, which are my lowercase letters. Then I'm going to type the year, so we'll say 2021. That includes the number. And then for my special character, I will put the asterisk or the star if you prefer, okay? So then it'll tell you, hey, you've got a strong password. So I'm going to come down and repeat it again, capital C, A-S-E-Y, 2021, and the star. Now you're going to select a security question, okay? So pick your favorite security question. If you don't have one here, you can actually create your own. So let's see. We're going to say, um, what make was your first car or bike? So then we're going to say Nissan, Nissan. Now, if you want to check and make sure that you typed it in correctly, you can hit the I here. And remember that this is case sensitive. So what does that mean? That means if you need to recover your password and it asks you for your security question, you see I have a capital N and all lowercase letters here. So if I don't type it in exactly this way when I try to recover my password, it's not going to accept it. So you need to pay attention to this. So click after you type in your security question, hit the little I there so you can take a look and write your security question down exactly as it's written. Okay. So you just want, again, writing things down is going to make things a lot easier for you. Okay. So then you can create a PIN number. So a PIN number is 4 digits that in any 4 digits that you want, again, make it something that you can remember and then also write it down. So we're going to do 2. So again, make sure you typed it in correctly, hit the I, and then now you've created a PIN for yourself. You don't have to create a PIN number. If you look, you'll see these red asterisks. Those are things that you have to do. But just to add a little extra security to your account, if you want, you can create this PIN ID, and there you have it. Okay? So you want to make sure all this is correct. So then you want to come down and enter your social. Okay, I'm just let's see. And again, you won't see what you're typing, but you'll have to re-enter it. So whatever your social is, enter it there, and then do it again. Okay, and then you want to go down to your country, your zip code. Okay. Are you authorized to work in the United States? Yes or no? So we're going to say yes. You don't have to put your email, but it's always good to do that. So we're going to say johnnyworkforce@gmail.com. Right? And excuse me for 1 second. I'm gonna take my own advice and I'm gonna write down the information that I'm using because we will need it later. So the username is going to be Johnny Workforce, and my password is Casey 2021 and the star. Just going to write that down so that I don't forget. So we're going to come down. We put our email address in there, and we're going to come down now to our date of birth. So you can just type that in, 3/15/1980. Then you want to do it again. Okay. And you select your gender. You don't have to answer if you don't want. We're going to go ahead and select ours. And then have you registered with the Selective Service? So basically, every male in the United States, when they turn 18, they need to register for the Selective Service. If you haven't done it, you can check by the Selective Service. You can go to sss.gov and you can look and see if you've registered for the Selective Service. If you haven't, you need to. Females are not required to register. Okay, so you need to check that, make sure that you've registered, and then if you have, select yes. If you haven't, select no. Or if you're not 18 and you're creating an account, then you wouldn't have signed up yet. If for some reason you have a documented exception from registration, you can put that. So, and if you're a female, you can put not applicable. Okay. But Johnny is male and he has registered. So we're going to say yes. All right. So that's this first page. So to recap, we've got our username written down. We've got our password written down. We've double checked our security question. We made sure that we wrote down how we spelled it out. We've created a PIN. We put in our social. Okay. Um, Actually, oh, I just noticed it said the social security number entered is not valid. So we're going to try again. Let's see. I might have mistyped something. I'm just creating one from memory. So okay, so it's not. All right. So I just created another one. So again, that's a good example. I didn't notice. It's a good thing I went back to double check. If something is wrong, generally you'll get a error message saying that something's wrong. So we're gonna come on down here. We're gonna be sure and select that we're not a robot, and then we're gonna go to next. So we're gonna wait for the next page to load. All right. So now we're gonna start entering our personal information. His name is Johnny Q Workforce. We're going to go to next. And you have a residential address. It's going to ask if you're homeless. Yes or no. We'll say Johnny is not. If you say yes, it will say provide the address at the shelter location you last stayed in or the address of a relative who is authorized to receive your mail. Okay. Then under mailing address, you need to provide an address at which you can receive correspondence. Okay. But we're not going to do that. We're going to say no. So your residential address is where you live. So 123 Workforce Place. If you put in your zip code, it's already going to have filled in this information. Just make sure that you put the county, borough, or parish. Obviously, where Louisiana is, what your parish is. So that's going to be Acadia Parish. Okay. So now if your mailing address is different, for instance, if you have a P.O. box or if you get your mail somewhere else besides your house, you're going to put that here. All right. But we will go ahead and use Johnny's. Johnny gets his mail at his house. So you can click right here, use residential address. Okay. It says address has not been standardized. That doesn't really mean anything. You don't have to worry about that. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to go to next. Oh, wait, did I miss? Yes, I did. See, if you try to go to next and you haven't filled something out, it'll tell you right up here at the top what you need to correct. And I didn't notice that it didn't fill in the parish down here when I hit residential address. So we're going to select Acadia again. Now everything should match and we can go to next. Okay. Then we're going to enter in the phone number. Please make sure you enter in a good phone number. And also, if your phone number ever changes, you need to go into HiRE and change that phone number. So we're just making one up. And it's going to ask you what kind of phone. Is it a cell phone? Is it someone else's phone? Is it your work phone? Or do you have a home phone or some other kind of phone? Most everybody has cell phones now. So we're going to select that. And is it voice? Is it voice / TTY, video phone, or amplified phone? So if you have a disability and you need to use a TTY or a voice TTY or any of the other non-standard phones, you can select that. But we're going to go ahead and select that as just a regular voice phone. If you have an alternate phone that you'd like, in case someone tries to contact you for a job and they can't get a hold of you at your current phone number, you can actually put in an alternate phone number if you want. Also, if you want to receive text messages, you could put a text message number. And if for some reason you want to receive faxes and you have a fax line, you can put the number there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just stick with the red asterisks here, the things that we have to put in. So now we have our phone number, we've selected our phone type and our phone mode, and we're going to go to next. Okay. So now it's going to ask you how you want to receive your notifications in HiRE. So say if you set up a virtual recruiter or if there's a message about unemployment or things like that, their HiRE wants to send you a message. So how do you want to receive those messages? You can do an internal message, which will actually send you a message on your HiRE website. It'll send it to your communication center in HiRE. You can have them send you an email. You can have them send you text messages. Uh, you can have them send it by postal mail, or you can have it sent with as an internal message with an email notification telling you that you've got a message. Okay. Now, if you're trying to file for unemployment, please note that determining your eligibility benefits may be delayed if mail is selected. If you select postal mail, it's going to take longer for you to apply for unemployment. Just throwing that out there. What most people do is internal message with email notification. If you're logging into HiRE every day to look for work, whenever you log in, you're going to get a message as soon as you log in telling you that you've got something to look at. So in your communication center. So I'm going to go ahead and say internal message, but you pick whichever works best for you. Okay, so we'll say internal message. Then it's going to ask you where you're accessing the site. So wherever you are accessing the site, if you're at work, if you're at home, library, if you're at one of our career centers, wherever you want to go, or wherever you are, excuse me, you can go ahead and select that. Then it's going to ask how you heard about the website. Where did you hear about louisianaworks.net? Okay. Was it a friend? Was it a colleague? Was it another website? Where did you hear about it? If none of these apply, you can select other. And it's going to ask you to explain. This is please describe. So we'll say career coach told me about the website. But however you heard about it, just select that. And then once that's done, you go to next. Okay. The citizenship. Are you a U.S. citizen? Are you a permanent resident? Are you an alien refugee lawfully admitted to the U.S. or none of the above? So we're going to select U.S. citizen. Now, here's where it's going to ask to disclose if you have a disability. And either you say yes, no, or you don't wish to answer. All right. So Johnny Workforce does not have a disability. And then it'll let you know, please note that by disclosing a disability, you may be eligible for additional resources or services from staff. Disability information will not be shared with employers. So I know sometimes people may be wary about sharing disability, but this is just to let you know, hey, if you let us know that you have a disability, it may, we may be able to help you with more services. So if you do have a disability, don't be afraid to select yes. But we're going to say, no, I don't have a disability. Okay. So we're going to go down, we're going to go over to next. So your highest education level, this is the highest education that you have completed. Okay. The last grade or last level of education you completed. So we're going to say that Johnny Workforce has 2 years of college. Okay. But be sure and select the correct one. Whatever's the last. If you went to college for a little while, but you didn't complete it, then you're going to put, your high school diploma. If you completed 1 year of college or 2 years of college, you can select that. Again, it's the last educational area that you completed. So we'll say Johnny had 2 years of college. Okay, so we're going to select that. And then it's going to ask if you're attending school. So again, you're either attending junior high, middle, or elementary. You're attending an alternative high school. You're attending college or technical school or vocational school, or you're not attending any school. We're going to say Johnny came to get help from the workforce office, and he is attending college. He's going back. He's gonna get a degree or a certificate. So once we have those answered, we're going to go to next. So current employment status. So are you working? If you are working full time? And that's generally considered 30 hours or more is considered full time, 30 hours a week or more. Are you working part time? Are you currently not working? Or you've never worked, or other? So we're going to say that that Johnny is working full-time. It's going to ask you the type of business. Are you working for a private business, the local government, federal government? Are you working for a nonprofit? Are you working for a college? Are you working for the state? Are you working in the education field? Or you've never worked or other? So we're going to say private business. So then it's going to ask the unemployment eligibility status. So does this mean, so what this means is, are you claiming unemployment? Have you exhausted your unemployment, or neither? So if you're a claimant, that means you currently have an active open claim. If you're an exhaustee, that means you received unemployment, but your benefits expired. And neither claimant nor exhaustee means you don't have an open case and you're not an exhaustee. So we're going to click on that. Then it's going to ask, are you currently looking for work? Yes or no? Yes. Then you get the question, within the last 12 months, have you received a notice of termination or layoff from your job, or received documentation that you are separating from military service? So you can say yes or no. We're going to say, just so I can show you what it looks like, that yes, Johnny has. We're going to say that Johnny was laid off last year during COVID. So we're going to say 3/1/2020. So if you don't remember the exact date, try and get it the best that you can. Okay, try to remember the best that you can and put it there. And then it's going to ask, have you done any farm work or migrant food processing work in the past 12 months? So you can answer that either yes or no. If you're not sure, then that probably means you haven't done it. So we're going to go with no. Then we're going to go to next. Okay. Now it's going to ask you, what is your desired job title? What kind of work are you looking for? So we're going to say that Johnny worked for us. He wants to be a welder. So we're going to type in WELDER. Now this is important. Okay, this makes this whole process a lot easier. Once you type in welder, once you type in just about any type of job, it's going to give you a list of jobs to pick from. So find the one that most closely matches the job that you want, and then click on it. And when you do, it's going to come down here and it's going to give you suggested occupations. So you want to click on that, and then you want to click on the most relevant, the one that's closest to what you want to do. So we're going to look, and we'll say welders, cutters, and welder fitters. Okay. If you don't click on it when it auto-populates here, then you have to come down and search for an occupation. And that just makes the whole process more complicated, okay? So type in what you're looking for, wait a second, get the list, click on the list, then click on something from the list down here that matches, okay? So once you have that, you're going to go to next. And it's going to ask for ethnic origin. So you can answer these questions if you want. If not, you can put information not provided. I do not wish to answer. Say no, white, whichever applies to you, obviously. Then we're going to go to next. Now it's going to ask about military service, or if you are a spouse or a member of the military. So are you the spouse of a member of the armed forces who is on active duty? So we'll say Johnny is not. Are you a spouse or family caregiver to a member of the armed forces who is wounded, ill, or injured and receiving treatment in a military facility or warrior transition unit? So are you the spouse or a family caregiver to a wounded military service member? I want to say no. Are you the spouse of a veteran who has a permanent total service-connected disability, or had the disability at the time of death, or died while the disability was in existence, or a spouse of a service member on active duty who has been missing in action, captured in line of duty, or forcibly detained for a local of more than 90 days? say no. Apply, obviously answer in whichever way applies to you. And then it's going to say, are you currently in the US military or a veteran? Again, you can say yes or no. If you say yes, it's going to ask you for more information. Okay. It's going to ask if you're a wounded veteran. It's going to ask if you've attended a transition assistance program. And it's going to ask you within 24 months of retirement or 12 months of discharge as a transitioning service member. Okay, so those are the additional questions if you are a veteran. We're going to say no. And then we will go to next. Okay. So again, now these are going to be public assistance questions, public assistance. And if you don't know the answer to these, then that more than likely means that you are not receiving those benefits. Okay, so has your household received temporary assistance for needy families payments? We'll say no. Have you been determined eligible or received supplemental nutrition assistance program assistance? So that's SNAP or food stamps. So are you eligible for food stamps? Have you received food stamps? Have you received general assistance payments? Have you received refugee cash assistance payments? And have you been supported through the state's foster care system? Again, if you're not sure what any of this is, then it's more than likely you have not received any of this. Most people, the most common one is SNAP. Okay. So then it's going to ask you for household information. If you don't want to give that, you can check that off. You can hit this box and it won't ask you. Okay. But if you do want to give it, you can say the number of individuals living in this household. That includes you. So we'll say Johnny is married and has a child. So that'll be him, his wife, and his child. And then it's going to ask for the household income in the last 6 months. So if we can assume that, we'll just say Johnny and his wife together bring in $60,000 a year. We'll say he's received $30,000 in the last year or in the last 6 months. Okay, we took their total household income for the year and divided by half because a year is 12 months. They want 6 months. 6 is half of 12. So we take their income, divide it in half, and there we have it. And now you can click on finish. And it's going to process everything, make sure it's all correct. Sometimes HiRE can move a little slow. You just have to give it give it time. It's taking a little longer than usual, but we will have faith that it's working here. Okay. And then from there, it's going to ask what you would like to do. You can go to job search, you can build a resume, you can fill out a WIOA pre-application to find out if you're eligible for services from us. And you can also look into unemployment services. Okay. And that is the beginning of your journey in using the Louisiana Works website. So I hope this video demystified the process of registering a little bit, made things a little bit easier, and gave you a good reference in case you weren't sure what some of the things meant whenever you were registering. And as always, if you have any questions or comments or concerns about any of this, if you're still not sure once you've started registering and something's still not clear, feel free to contact your local workforce office, and you can get with someone there who can sort of help you wherever you happen to be, if you happen to be stuck. Right? Well, thank you all for joining in with this video, and I hope that it was helpful, and we will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.